Hello and welcome to Weirdos. My name is Kellen.
I'm Jay.
And I'm producer Rodney.
And
welcome back.
Great show.
No, you go for it.
We have a great show coming up that I don't remember what we're talking about.
Although it was his idea.
Yeah, that's right.
So I gave you a couple options. First of all, I want to apologize for us not having videos for 2 weeks.
Oh, man. That's as much my fault.
Me got a new phone and didn't realize that it automatically records everything in 4K, which made things entirely difficult to share with you guys via AirDrop and Google Drive and everything else we tried. So sadly, no videos. We didn't look good anyways. I mean, Kellen did. Rodney did. I did.
No, I mean, Kellen had that fabulous, you've trimmed, and I've seen that you've trimmed since the last recording with your luscious beard,
His
sir.
Bundy hair. He had Bundy hair last time.
Yeah, it's getting long. It's getting real long.
Are you going to do the thing in high school where everybody hated where you do a little flip?
Yeah, hair flip.
The hair flip?
You do that to prove a point, you know.
Yeah.
Flip.
Look at this.
It's like a mic drop. It's like the original mic drop.
But was it really?
Only if your collar was popped.
So, again, sorry. I think we have all that figured out now. So, I'm sorry my phone's so good that it's so crystal clear we couldn't save it and upload it. But last episode was serial killers.
Yeah.
Got some feedback on that. Actually got a phone call and a text like, why didn't you tell me you were doing that? I'm like, well,
I got the same one.
Yeah.
The same text.
pay attention, and you never know what you might hear. But we still have several different topics we want to talk about, and I sent you, Kellen, the options, and you chose one, and then you came up with another for the next 2 episodes. So we're just going to start with the negative one, because why not? It's Monday when we're recording this for this coming Wednesday. So one of the options was cancel culture.
Yeah.
And this is one we had talked about before. We're like, hey, this one, you kind of have to tiptoe around, be careful what you say so you don't get canceled ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't want to disappoint those 20 listeners out there if we get canceled. But it's something that's always bothered. Again, we have to word things properly when we talk about this. I don't like cancel culture. I'm a firm believer in being held accountable.
Right.
And accountability culture. But I absolutely hate cancel culture.
Right.
And there's a few reasons why. I have one very big specific reason that we'll get into.
Chris Hardwick.
That's the one. But
Who?
So
we'll get
my
there.
Goodness. For those of you who don't turn on the TV or get on social media and doesn't know what cancel culture is, cancel culture or call out culture, as some call it, is a modern form of ostracism in which someone is thrust out of social and professional circles. Whether it's online, social media, in person, these people are said to be canceled. I think we're all fairly familiar with. I'm sure there's people we know that we like who have been canceled.
Yeah.
Sometimes the issue I see with cancel culture is anybody can cancel anybody now.
Right.
Because the internet's, and I hate that. If you're on Facebook, your opinion doesn't matter. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. What you think doesn't matter. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than Facebook. But people get upset on Facebook and they think people should automatically be canceled.
Right.
Are there any, besides the obvious ones that we're going to talk about, are there any like just pop out to you like, this person got canceled for the stupidest reason?
The biggest one that pops into my head is Kevin Hart when he was going to host the Oscars. And he got canceled over a tweet or a couple of tweets from like almost a decade earlier. Yeah. And that you're basically at that point saying that it doesn't matter if you grow as a person. Once you say something, you're dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you were in your life. It doesn't matter what was going on, what hardships you were facing, broke, mad, angry at the world, something happened that just pissed you off. It doesn't matter.
Led the wrong way.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. You said it, so you're done.
And it doesn't matter how far you've come since then.
Exactly.
And that's where my issue really comes in, because we've all said stupid shit in our lives. I have. I'm sure you guys have too. And there's things we've said where we don't mean. There's probably things we've said online that we don't mean. I'll have to tell you one off air that I witnessed this past week that was pretty funny. But even like, you go back and everybody finds old tweets. Like James Gunn is another one who got
I thought
fired
that, yeah.
from Disney because of a tweet from like 10, 15 years ago. Now he's back because the cancel culture was revolted against, because it was someone that was beloved to more people
Right.
who support him than support cancel culture. So he's back. He did Suicide Squad. He's done Peacemaker, and they're fantastic. And he's fantastic. What he said, was it stupid? Sure.
Yeah.
But everybody makes mistakes. And everybody changes. We don't feel the same way we did back then. There's a picture on my Facebook page somewhere of Roger and some other people at a party, and I photoshopped so many dildos into this photo, one of which was Obama. He's holding the Obama dildo. That, I could get canceled for that one day.
Yeah, I'm out. I'll see y'all guys later. It's been fun.
There's pictures
It's
out
a great
there.
run, guys.
There's pictures out there from my Ambien days that I can't get back, that I'm sure someone has out there. I know
Ambien
one.
days.
I know one that involves Duckman DVD that was sent, and I have a friend who swears that he still has that, so I can never run for office because that would surface, and I'd be screwed. But it still, I feel like it all comes from the internet now, and that's what's infuriating to me. And we talked about another idea I had mentioned to you about toxic fandom.
Yeah.
And I think toxic fandom and cancel culture are very similar, but like, I'm sure neither one of you seen the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right?
I have, yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah,
It was
I
good.
enjoyed it. Had some very, very unique kills. I mean, of course, it was a slasher film, so there's over the top moments, and there's things that I would have liked to have seen different. But on the whole, I thought it was a fine movie.
I've never seen the horror community torn and as divided as they have been over that movie.
Yeah,
And so many arguments and
I
horror.
thought you said horror community.
The horror community, the horrors. The horror. Oh, damn it, canceled.
if you're gonna say it, you got to go full Danny DeVito.
Horrors.
I'm done. Go.
The horror HORROR community, because I'm in
stuff.
some groups on Facebook, and I know you guys don't know this, but I'm really into horror. So horse, I'm really. But people were like arguing, horror is a way for us to get away from the real world, and horror is a way.
Horror.
Everybody has their own opinion, and that's okay. That was a community where we embrace everybody's other opinions. But for whatever reason, this movie has divided them all, and they all hate each other. And they just want to argue. It was a good movie. I don't care what you say. It was a good
Yeah.
movie. My opinion doesn't matter.
I
The
enjoyed
person
it.
who hates it, their opinion doesn't matter. It is what it
Yeah.
is. But the internet just gives people too much oomph. Like they're just like, I'm going to say this and I'm going to change the freaking world.
yeah.
Spoiler alert. You're not going to change a damn thing. You might get unfollowed by me. That's another thing. I've unfollowed so many people.
You're
and
going to make the
pages.
divide bigger is probably what's going to happen.
I mean, it's just forever growing.
That's the best feature on social media of all
The
all the
off
faults
button.
Facebook has. You can still be friends with somebody and just not see their content. That way, you're not worried about. You don't have to worry about hurting feelings.
Yeah.
But you can just boop muted.
I unfollowed Roger years ago, and every now and then he'll say, "Did you see what I posted?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was hilarious." I have no idea because I stopped following him because he was so freaking annoying. And there's other people in my life who I've stopped following because they're annoying. That is the best feature Facebook has to offer.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't care if I hurt their feelings, so I just unfriend them. I'm like, "Yeah, you'll see that later." You're like, that number went down.
You'll
That's
notice
weird.
that
And then
in
you'll
3 months when you're like, what's Jay doing?
yeah. Oh, what the heck? Like I thought your wife had unfriended me.
Right. It's yeah.
I went to look for something and her name wasn't pulling. I'm like, that heifer. And I text her, I'm like, I know you didn't unfriend me. And she's like, no, I just took it off.
I know you didn't.
Understandable. But other people have gotten canceled too. And a lot of it's deserving. Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
deserving. He actually got lucky because he's out of prison. Marilyn Manson. And a lot of it is he said, she said.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the problem too. And I'll get into the reason why I don't like cancel culture. And that's because Chris Hardwick.
Well,
You
you said it's he said, she said, and the big problem with that is once it's said, it's always there.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with Chris Hardwick, he started the Nerdist.com. He's a stand-up comedian. He's from Tennessee.
Singled out.
Singled Out. He was on Singled Out. He was, I forget what he calls himself then, but when he was fat. He's in House of a Thousand Corpses. He does the Talking Dead, which comes on after The Walking Dead, which is probably what most people know him for now. And he has that game show where the balls drop. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
The Drop, something like that. But I love Chris Hardwick. I've seen him several times at Zany's. Super funny, super nice guy. One of my favorite people in the world. So the first time I saw him, his girlfriend at the time, Chloe Dykstra, was there, and I always thought she was just gorgeous. Like, she's a cosplayer. I'm like, whoa, she's there. And when he was done, and we were all walking to meet him at the door, I saw her up there, and I'm like, oh, goodness. But it's too late. So met him. You know, he's gone on. They broke up. He started dating some other people. He's now married to a model. Just had a baby.
Congratulations, Chris.
I guess it was 3 or 4 years ago now. He did name that baby a stupid name. I forget what it is, but it's a dumb name.
Can't be worse than Elon Musk.
It's close.
I hate you.
But 3 or 4 years ago,
I love Eli.
you know, we'll get to that. 3 or 4 years ago,
God.
Hardwick
Canceled. I'm canceling you.
I've already been canceled because you told everybody I was saying horror.
Horror.
I'm sorry, I have a Southern accent. Okay. 3 or 4 years ago, Chris Hardwick got canceled because Chloe Dykstra came out and said that he was incredibly abusive to her and like would lock her in the room and he abused alcohol, and he wasn't alcoholic.
Well, and she never mentioned him by name. She mentioned the time frame.
Yeah,
and everybody put it together.
110% him.
Yeah.
She claimed she had evidence of this, which never saw the day of light. And there are cases where this stuff is true, where the victim is 100% right. But at the same time, on the end of that other spectrum, there's times that they are 100% wrong.
Yeah.
And people take advantage of this system, and they take advantage of cancel culture. So she accused someone of doing all these things. The time frame matched up with their relationship. He gets fired from everything. Everything. No evidence. Just one woman whose popularity declined big time after they broke up. And he skyrocketed. Like, he just became more and more popular. She became a nobody. So she accused someone of all that. It was tied to him. He got the Nerdist kicked him off of, I mean, he created that.
Yeah.
They kicked him off all images of him, all name, everything. His game show was canceled. He got kicked off The Talking Dead, everything. Because one person said something bad about him. Now, his other girlfriends came out and said he's one of the best people they've ever known. And none of this is true. But he's still, they pulled the trigger so fast on this guy.
Yeah. And
then it
AMC did their own internal investigation, and they found nothing, which is how he got that job back.
And she's like, I got pictures, I got videos, I got texts. Show him, you know? And I believe she said it was an invasion of her privacy. Like, you brought it to the surface, honey.
Yeah.
Like, sorry. Like, if you're going to make accusations like that, you have to provide proof, or I'm not going to believe it, especially when it's someone who I love, like Chris Hardwick. Now, there's other people, if you said, I'm like, oh, yeah, he totally did that. You know, like Manson. I like Marilyn Manson. He totally probably did everything he's accused of doing.
Well, and I think another girlfriend of his from the past came forward and said, yeah, he was.
Yeah. But with Hardwick, everybody was for him, and everybody believed him and had only good things to say about him. So eventually, she couldn't come up with anything, and they dropped it, and he got all his jobs back. But why did he have to suffer from that amount of time?
Yeah.
Because of something like that? Someone trying to hold on to what little fame she had left.
Right.
That's where my issue with cancel culture comes in, because we're so quick to judge. We're so quick to pull the trigger. We don't do the research. We don't do the homework to try to figure out what really is going on. I think another example of that is Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Exactly. The only difference is that Johnny Depp was fired from everything and is still fired from everything. He's a pariah, and it's almost the exact same situation. The only big difference is that Amber Heard's popularity was on the rise as well. But he's had the same thing. All of these former girlfriends, whatever, have come forward and said he was always a gentleman. He was a very good partner. But he's still canceled. And I think part of the difference is a lot of his stuff was tied to a bigger company. AMC could afford to basically do their own investigation and then determine whether or not to bring Chris Hardwick back, because they're not Disney.
Yeah.
Disney, Warner Brothers, because I think Warner Brothers does the Fantastic Beasts, which he was in, and then all the Jack Sparrow movies from Disney. They can't afford that kind of negative publicity because they're so big. So it's easier for them, being as big as they are, to just completely blacklist you and then not think twice about it. They don't care. They've got enough money to throw at a different big name actor.
Yeah. And I hate that because I love Johnny Depp too. And
Well, he's had so much support, and it's the same situation. The more evidence that comes out, the more and more people are believing Johnny Depp that Amber Heard was the aggressor, that she was the abusive one, but she spoke first. And that's the nail in the coffin for everybody. It doesn't matter what he says now, because at that point, it's just, well, you're just saying that because she said it. Yeah.
Which brings us to our next topic of toxic relationships. No,
we all got them. We've all had them.
Just kind of hitting on your guys' topic. I've been trying to hold my ADHD together and do one topic at a time. So let me go retrospect here. The whole cancel culture is a slippery slope. It is. It's extremely divisive. Do I feel that people who do people wrong need to be punished? Absolutely. Am I the one to tell you what judgment or whatever punishment fits a crime? I can't. That's not me. I'm not the guy passing judgment. All I can say is, in fact, when Kellen got here, we were talking about a subject that kind of bounces towards this. Divisive conversation, politics. It's
next week on Weirdos.
No, I mean, but when you really think about it, media, social media, everything has become divisive. And that's the reason why Sons of Our Father's last album that will be put out
sometime
in the near or far future, but it was angry. I am the guy who sits around and talks about rainbows, butterflies, horseshoes, unicorns. I want to find the light at the end of every tunnel.
I did see him shit a rainbow once. It was pretty awesome.
I mean, it was, and it was not a filter on Snapchat. a perfect Roy G. Biv rainbow.
I'm still looking for the gold.
You probably don't want to dig in that pot.
No, but I'm so sick and tired. Like I don't get on it as much, and I don't get on Facebook. I literally get on Instagram to like look at the things that I follow.
What's that rascal doing?
Like Scufflemus, you, Jameson.
Didn't immediately say me. How about that? Son of a...
What?
You're cool. Whatever. Continue.
What?
You didn't say Kellen. You don't check up on Kellen on Instagram, Rodney? One of the three amigos.
Wow.
One of the three musketeers. One of the three blind mice.
I quit.
The besticles.
The besticles. But, you know, I'm not looking for anything specific. It's like, you know, people get on the news and then watch the news. What do you, when you get done watching the news, you're just in a bad mood.
Oh, yeah.
That's because, is there any good news?
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's not. It's all about the bad shit. And I'm
Scrolling
tired.
through Facebook puts you in a bad mood now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm tired of it. I'm so tired. I mean, I'm not saying to be an ostrich and hide your head in the sand and, you know, look around things, but it's too easy to find the bad shit.
Yeah.
I mean, at least take an effort to look for the good stuff.
Yeah.
And
like you can find it wherever you hear podcasts.
Exactly. The great stuff is right here. We can find.
We're here.
Oh, God.
Bi-monthly.
Bi-monthly. Bi-monthly.
Or would it be bi-weekly? I never get that right.
Bi-weekly. He doesn't understand how bi works. Canceled. But you're right. And I'm addicted to social media. We've talked about that before. I'm 100% addicted to it. But it is very toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can play devil's advocate in every situation. Someone who is right or someone is left or someone is red, who someone is blue, who someone's whatever the case it is. If there is a distinct middle ground someone has drawn, someone is as far away from that middle ground as possible. I even said, my dad used to say, there's a ditch to the left, ditch to the right. Just keep it in the middle of the road. Mm-hmm. Because there's bad things when you venture out one direction and you're not trying to figure out what's on the other side. It's like, you know, when I was in church, I wanted to learn about other religions, not because I was looking or searching for something. I wanted to know what drives someone. Walk a mile in someone else's shoes And I think we could all benefit from that a lot. And the cancel culture is the epitome of that. You're making judgment. You're like, some people hadn't been on trial, and they're already guilty.
Yeah.
But why? Let's hear all the evidence. Let's talk about it. And when it comes to talking about like the Johnny Depps and stuff like that, I don't have the facts. So I can't, and if people to cast judgment without the facts, because 5 people can witness the same exact accident happen and see it 5 exactly different ways. Mm-hmm. It's the same accident.
Yeah.
But you see it from a different angle. And if you just can't shut up for just a second and listen, you got 2 ears, 1 mouth, listen twice as much as you talk.
People can't do that though.
No.
And a lot of it is fueled by fear. And it's like these bigger companies like Disney, they're like, oh shoot, we have to get ahead of this.
Right.
If this is true, but it's not fair.
Well, the thing is the biggest detriment within the whole cancel culture. One side has all the power, and I'm not saying anything against women canceled, but when the whole Me Too movement started, it was a wonderful movement. It was holding people accountable.
Yes.
But the problem that happened is what they were trying to fight against is these men in power using their power to keep women quiet, keep women down. And there was a point where that Me Too movement shifted and people used it for the wrong things, like Amber Heard and like Chris Hardwick's ex-girlfriend, that were using it to hurt somebody else, not to be a part of the movement to help other women.
Uses ammunition in self-defense.
Yeah, nothing happened to me, but if you don't do what I want you to do, I'm going to tell everybody you did this, and you're going to get canceled. And that goes into my second point. The whole problem with that is you've given one side all the power now, creating fear on the other side. But we are such a fickle society, and we move past things so quickly that once you're canceled, you don't have a chance to defend yourself most of the time because we've already moved on to the next thing. We've already canceled you in our heads.
Old news.
You're canceled. Squirrel, what's this? And we don't even think twice. Like that's most people don't know a lot of the backstory on the Chris Hardwick stuff. They don't know the details of Johnny Depp because we've moved on. We've determined you're canceled. Kevin Hart, you can't host the Oscars. You've been canceled. Doesn't matter that you've apologized 5 times previously for that same exact thing before somebody decided to do a deep dive into the history of your life and find something that they could throw out to try to ruin you, because that's what people do.
Yeah.
They just deep dive into celebrities all day anytime somebody's name gets mentioned in the news and then throw out whatever they can find. He hates the color blue. I'm part of the Blue Society and I'm offended by it. We should cancel him. But by the time you get to try to defend yourself, we've moved past you. You're not important anymore.
I think that's 50-50. Like it is, a lot of us are like, okay, it's done. You're canceled. It's over. But a lot of us, our attention span is crap and we forget. Michael Jackson still played on the radio all the time.
Yeah.
But he's dead. So it's different, right? Kobe Bryant raped a woman, right? But he's dead. So it's different.
Did he though?
Didn't he though?
See, those are always
and I don't have those
situations.
facts. Like,
Right.
I understand the comic behind it,
but
but
we move on too, and like even Louis C.K. he
Ben
100% did stuff, and he's starting to play shows again.
Ben
Aziz Ansari.
Roethlisberger.
Huh?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
he's
Aziz
retired.
Ansari. That one is an interesting study too. If you haven't read about that one, it's basically whether he did or did not try to force himself on a woman, and it comes down to her reading the situation different than he was reading it, but no actual thing happened.
Yeah.
The same thing with Louis C.K. He asked for consent every time, but it was creepy. What he wanted to do was creepy, and that's what damaged him the most. It wasn't that he was forcing himself on women so much as he was just a creep.
Yeah. And you know, politics plays a lot into it too. One of the other names that comes up to me is Chris Pratt, which we've talked about before, and everybody wants to cancel Chris Pratt because he's a Republican,
A Christian.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah.
Good for you. Like, you have the right to religion in this country, and you have the right to freedom of speech.
That's the reason why the Revolutionary War happened. It's, you know,
Well, and he doesn't. He doesn't have. Anytime they say something bad about him, it's all about his political and religious views. It's not about anything that he's done to anybody.
Right. But when you hate somebody for that, you have your own views that other people hate.
Right.
And that's okay. That's okay. That's what kills me. And as we're sitting here and I'm listening to each of us, it sounds like we're always against the woman who's blaming the man. But I want to, put that out there. That is not the case. It's just majority of the time it is the women who are accusing the men. And, probably 90% of them, 99% of them are true.
Shitty
but
men.
there are other ones that aren't. Like the Me Too movement, people use that to their advantage.
Yeah.
They did, because we are a shitty society. We are terrible people.
Absolutely.
And people use what they can to get ahead in life.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's, and again, like when we started out, like I'm 100% for accountability. If you did something, you should be held accountable. I'm not the one to say how, when, where, but you should be held accountable. But if there's not hard evidence of what happened to you, and because the internet jumped on this bandwagon and got you canceled before any evidence came out, I don't feel like that should ruin your career.
Yeah. Well, and two, again, you don't know the headspace the person was in when it happened. And I'm not justifying anything James Gunn, Kevin Hart, any of these people said. I'm not justifying what they said or how they said it. But what I'm saying is back to the beginning, you're not allowing that person room to grow as an individual. You're taking that in a black and white context with no other knowledge of what was going on with that person's life in that time. And like you said, if we had a microphone in front of us 24/7, everybody would be canceled. Because how many times have you said something horrible while driving?
Way to work. Yeah, today.
Yeah.
I would never know what you would say because you always have that on that I'm driving mode.
That's true. You never say anything.
But I'm just saying, like in your car by yourself, you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off.
You punk mother.
Like, God
At
bless
that
you,
point-
sir. God bless you.
Yeah, we all say horrible things at some point in time.
Yeah.
In the context, it's not everything, but I think it should be something. And two, after a certain amount of time has passed, if that person has shown that they're not that person, it should be a little easier to forgive, especially if they've already apologized for it, if they've already shown that they have made progress to try to be a better person, that they see that part of themselves, that part of their past, and they're like, I don't like that person that I was, and I've done things now, but that doesn't matter to people.
Yeah, that good
All that
Christian
matters
mentality.
is what you said.
Yeah. And there's some people that say things like they don't try to get better, like J.K. Rowling.
Oh, she doubled down.
Yeah, I mean, she put all her chips on the table, but you know what? I'm still watching Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Because I love Harry Potter. And that's nothing that you post something on Facebook with Johnny Depp and someone's going to say something negative. Chris Pratt, someone's going to say something negative. Like, they may or may not have done something bad, but that doesn't mean I don't love the work they put forth before that,
Right.
Like, there are some slight differences. Like, I love the band Lost Prophets, and that guy was a pedo.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't listen to Lost Prophets anymore. I don't listen to Michael Jackson anymore. But
R.
everybody listens
Kelly?
to Michael Jackson. R. Kelly, pee-pee time, pee-pee, poo-poo.
And that whole situation was messed up though, because people knew that that's what he was into way before. Because there was video that surfaced in like the mid 2000s maybe of an underage girl in the room with him, and they were talking about peeing on her.
Yeah.
This was not us, but he was at the peak of his popularity at that point.
Yeah.
So, like you said too, is like sometimes popularity can overshadow.
100%.
He was still living that "I believe I can fly" high.
I believe I can fly. Sorry.
And remixed to Ignition. I mean, he was riding on cloud nine. It didn't matter who he peed on at that point because people were going to defend him because they were R. Kelly fans.
Yeah.
Same thing with Bill Cosby. If that stuff had come out in the 90s, oh no,
There's
not Bill
no way.
Cosby. No, that's America's Dad.
Pudding pup.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you said something just a second ago, Jay. Like, the old adage, we can agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that we have opinions on certain things that we disagree on somehow, some way. This all is bred around culture. We're talking about cancel culture. My boss is from New York, and every time he comes to work, I get the thickest New York accent possible. It's like, hey, what's going on? Good morning to you.
How you
know,
doing?
how you doing? What's going on? All right, Mikey, come
Pizza
on over here.
pie.
Guess who's not getting canceled for trying to do a New York accent? Screw you guys.
So, but it's like we just start talking, and the culture in Manhattan, because he did construction, started his own business, and he hates it because of all the structure rigidity. Like, if you're doing a job, there's an inspector that comes out twice a day.
Oh, wow.
Not when the job's done, twice a day, and inspects where you are, because they don't want the thinking is they don't want you to get 3/4 of the way in the project and have to start over and pull everything back off. It is cost effective, but you still have to pay for it. You can follow the process all the way through, but it's a lot. And then trying to go down like 4 corridors, 7 flights of stairs to like pour somebody a concrete slab in their house. I mean, it's a lot. And he was having he tells me these stories all the time. And the way that New Yorkers talk to each other is like, excuse me, I'm sorry. You bump into somebody, it's they don't say, excuse me, get the way, whatever. It's a
little Boston in that one.
It was a Pakistani guy. I'm sorry. So the thing is this is all bred by culture. Like, we're breeding a culture every day. Somebody else's culture influences ours. Our culture influences somebody else's. But the problem is we start putting these lines in the sand because some part of somebody else's culture or aspect of their culture isn't appreciated or liked or wanted, blah, blah, blah. And so the only way you can separate yourself is to say that's bad or you're bad.
It goes to woke culture. It's like I'm trying to prove that I'm more virtuous than you because I care more.
Your virtue has nothing to do with my virtue. None whatsoever.
Exactly.
And art, is it like podcasting? That's an art, right?
Yeah.
Painting.
We're more like finger painting here.
Yeah, I mean,
at Weirdos, but yeah, it's an art.
Color by numbers. Yeah. We have a little list, a little punch list going down. But everything in art is subjective.
Yeah.
Now, Vincent van Gogh, Michelangelo, we can go and try to dig up, but their art should stand for themselves. You can separate the art from the artist. You can.
Yeah.
Because you like their art doesn't mean that you like them. Because when it comes down to it, when's the last time you met Johnny Depp?
Right.
Sat down and had a conversation with him.
He's from Kentucky. It's not that far.
It's not impossible, but how many times have you?
But have you seen some of the movies he's in? Would you even know that he was next to you? He's a chameleon. He's like Gary Oldman.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like we're talking about someone we have never ever met,
but we feel like we know him.
We feel like we know him because
we grew up with.
Well, they're in our homes.
Because he's a pirate.
No, because he was Gilbert Grape, and because he was Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah,
and because he was Captain Jack Sparrow.
That was a part he played. He's a phenomenal.
It doesn't matter. We still connect people that
artist.
way.
Yeah.
I know you're connected, but you're not connected to him. You're connected to his art.
Yeah, but we get that image in our head. We know him from all these great roles that we loved, to grew up with. So we're like, he's a good guy. No matter what, he's a good guy.
And the thing is, nobody's calling in or sending into CNN to cancel Kellen
yet.
Well, they're not going to ever. It does unless I walk out of here today and murder a child in the middle of the street. I'm not making the news because I used a slur.
Yeah,
Johnny Depp is.
Yeah,
Kevin Hart is.
Yeah, that spotlight's definitely different.
Because people know them. Because it's big. I'm not big.
But
so that's why it hits so much harder because, like you said, we love them. They're our childhood. Especially
we love their art.
I know, but
a part of them maybe.
But in our minds, they are a part of our existence. We grew up with these people playing characters that we love.
In and of that, is that not a lie?
You're trying to get philosophical.
I know.
Yeah,
we're not getting philosophical here. We're talking about that's why it's such a big deal that they're pointing out these specific people. They're pointing them out because they're famous and it's going to be a bigger room to scream in, because that's what everybody does now. Everyone just yells. Nobody wants to have a dialogue. They just want to, hey, you suck now.
Yeah.
I did it. In our head. I made the world better.
We
I
have
canceled Johnny Depp. You're
we have
welcome,
this
everybody.
image in our head of people too, and that plays a lot into it. As soon as the Chris Hardwick thing said, I'm like, there's no way.
Never watch Nightmare on Elm Street again. Johnny Depp was in it. You can't watch it. It's canceled too.
But
Freddy Krueger's
Lindsay and I
canceled.
talk about this stuff
Not
sometimes.
because he killed kids.
What would we do if it came out that Guy Fieri had done something awful? Would you believe it?
He did. Did you see his hair?
Shut up. Like stuff like that. Like I would
Yeah.
never believe it because I've seen him so much, and I feel like I do
You've
know
made
him.
him beloved.
Diners,
Yeah.
drive-ins, and
Like, there's no way he's ever done anything, but he has. But I wouldn't believe it. You know, it's just we have that image of people in our heads, and that's what makes it hard to believe. I also don't like Amber Heard. I think she's mean. I think she's a mean.
some
person.
people.
But
Some
that's the
people
image
wear
you have
their,
in your head.
Some people wear who they are on
she
their
hurt
face.
somebody that beloved.
What?
She hurt somebody you beloved.
Oh, I thought that's not what I heard.
Canceled.
Canceled.
But yeah, I don't know. Again, everybody should be held accountable for your actions. Go watch the Always Sunny episode, "The Gang's Time's Up," which is hilarious about what we've talked about today. Before we get going, you have a show this weekend.
Yes, I do.
Tell us about it.
Well, by the time you hear this,
Wednesday.
it will be Wednesday, and we're going to have a show at the Springwater Supper Club. I hate saying that.
Yeah. And lounge.
Supper Club and Lounge.
Just the spring water.
They have
Cash
food there?
only.
Vending machine. They used to have. I think they used to have food.
They're going to make that a historic place.
Why?
I think it's because. Did you know that?
Because it has asbestos in the ceiling.
I mean, it also has cocaine remnants on the back of the toilet seat.
If you use that bathroom, you're immune to every disease.
Every
on the
disease
planet.
known to man.
And I've used they had the paper towel rack forever that was just a cloth rag that just rolled.
See, anytime I would go to Nashville to a concert, I would always lick the stickers on the wall
Smart.
because I it's like eating dirt.
Now you're a superhuman. Friday night.
Saturday.
Is it Saturday?
It's Saturday.
So Nathan Gray from Boy Sets Fire is playing Friday night.
Yeah, we had that conversation when there were two things
They were
happening.
switched.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Scuffle Muss, Sons of Our Fathers,
Big If True and Ragnar and the Fighters.
yes.
It's kind of an awesome name.
It's hosted by 2/3 of Weirdos podcast, so someone has to work Saturday.
Whoa.
And I'm not going to let you leave me up there by myself the whole time. So me and Rodney will be hosting. He's going to be co-hosting, playing with his band, playing with Scuffle Moss. It's going to be a busy boy.
I'm going to sing a song with Scuffle Moss because she's howling at the moon.
So that's Saturday night, Springwater, 7 o'clock, I think, is when it starts.
Yes.
So come out, hang out with us. I'll be there Friday night for Nathan Gray as well. Before we go, also, I had this in my pocket. It's in my autographed Chris Hardwick trading card.
Nice. It's a trading
It's
card.
beautiful. Yeah, I tried to find my signed picture of him, but every time I've met him, he signed numerous things, his book and everything. So in case you didn't know my love for Chris Hardwick, it's in my pocket. Go follow us on social media. We suck on TikTok these days, but we'll get better. I'm Jay.
I'm Kellen.
And I'm producer Rodney.
And until next time,
Keep it weird.
Weirdos.
Canceled.
Cancel.